Troubleshooting proximal hamstrings. One of the things that I see the most when people are trying to find proximal or just hamstrings in general is that they will squeeze their butt to try and make that tension happen. Here is a quick tip that you can use to really make sure that you're facilitating your hamstrings and you're not squeezing in on your glutes, okay? So what I am doing here is I'm in this 90-90 position. And let's say I'm trying to find my hamstrings. I feel like I'm pulling down the wall with my heels and I'm like, I don't really know, like what am I feeling here? What am I doing? Because a lot of times when we're first doing this, it's really tough. We're not sure exactly what we're supposed to feel. So here is my tip for you to really know, are you trying to get your proximal hamstrings or is your body trying to turn on your glutes, more specifically your deep hip external rotators, that posterior pelvic floor instead? You're gonna take your hands, okay? So we're gonna have our hands just like this right here, and I literally want you to put them around each glute, okay? So I've got my hands kind of like all up in my stuff, all right? So I've got the tips of my fingers kind of inside my butt crack, for lack of better words, all right? Now, what I want you to do is pull down on those hamstrings. Find the hamstrings. What you should not feel is anything in your glutes coming together, okay? I don't want you to feel your glutes getting smaller in your hands. I don't want you to feel anything pulling your fingertips towards each other. If you have your hands like this right here and you go to find your hamstrings and you feel something tightening right around, you know, in between your butt cheeks, that's not your hamstrings. That is most likely your posterior pelvic floor. Or if you feel something kind of pulling away from the palms of your hands, that's your deep hip external rotators, and those are contracting. So we want to make sure that we're giving ourselves this feedback, which can be super helpful, especially in the beginning, where we've got things right here and we're just pulling down on the hamstrings. And we can keep our hands right here to make sure that it is truly just the hamstrings that we're getting to turn on. The other thing that you can do once you're satisfied that you're like, okay, I'm definitely not gripping down with my glutes, I'm just getting the hamstrings on, is that you can literally kind of feel up in your hamstrings. So your glutes, you're gonna go to where they end and you'll feel it, like that little kind of notch where your glutes end and your thighs begin, and you can just kind of put your hands up in there and then let the tension go on your hamstrings. So stop pulling down with your heels and then pull down with your heels again. And you really should feel kind of like muscle that will just pop into your hands a little bit. That's what you're looking for. We don't want to feel nothing happen right here. When we do this well, when you put a little bit of pressure here, you're going to pull down and you're going to feel that muscle kind of start to pop into your hands a little more right here around that proximal hamstring activation. And you may notice that when your pelvis is in one position, like a little more of a posterior pelvic tilt, you're able to feel it a little more than the other. Or you may notice that one hamstring tends to, you get a lot stronger contraction or a stronger feeling, and that's okay. It's just all pieces of data. But this is something that I have found to be invaluable, especially when I was learning how to feel proximal hamstrings on myself and whenever I am teaching someone else. So remember, proximal hamstrings, we're feeling for them right here, okay? We don't want anything bringing our butt cheeks closer together, so we're not closing down our butt crack at all. We're not squeezing in from the sides. Quads are staying super soft as well. And once you're really satisfied that you've got that proximal hamstring activation going, then we can add the proximal hamstring activation into more breathing drills, etc. But it's really crucial that we know exactly what that feels like without getting glutes or quads on first. All right, that is your troubleshooting your proximal hamstrings.